It is a new year, but it is a lot of the same old as the pandemic roars into 2022. We talked about the stresses on working moms last year in our series, The Mother Load, which raised concerns about women leaving the workforce and losing gains towards equality. Instead, research has shown that women have returned to work, but not necessarily on the same terms. So we checked back in with the 4 moms we first talked with last February. It's now 2022, and moms bearing pandemic burdens are still feeling the weight.
In my head, it's still sometime in 2020. Like, how we had another year go by already? It doesn't make any sense.
But for all that stayed the same, the moms we first met a year ago told us they've learned a lot as the pandemic continues.
I definitely am out of the headspace of I can't wait until it's over. I think that now I'm in the headspace of what can I do to make this even easier.
Ashley Hall Green took on a new principal role, now at East Academy in South Collinwood. She's used routine to balance the needs of her own 4 boys, along with the entire school.
I think that the pandemic, especially in relation to school and to motherhood, has caused us to be more innovative than we ever have before.
In the classroom, she says the strategic moves are nonstop, forcing funding into schools that desperately needed the resources.
Teachers are literally meeting kids where they are right now and doing the best that they can to get them to where they need to be.
Reena Goodwin is noticing innovation too, in a shift to digital communication across industries, not just her own business, Factor PR.
I think one of the really interesting things that sort of has come to light in COVID is this idea of not necessarily really having a location.
For the Goodwin family, that meant moving. You are no longer in Cleveland. Tell me about that decision.
We really needed support from our immediate family. And so we ultimately decided to, take a risk and move back to my hometown of Cincinnati. COVID definitely influenced our decision to move. I don't know that without the pandemic, we would have done so under the same circumstances.
Single mom Jamie Cohen is so busy with her new job, she didn't have time for an interview. With her daughter in kindergarten at a public school, Jamie told me she's found all the school closures and quarantines just as challenging as finding childcare. Laurel Hoffman agrees.
We still don't really know how long this is going to last, and childcare is the bigger issue.
She was out of work when we met, but has since found a new remote job she loves. She says she's taken control of her mental health along with her schedule.
This year is about reclaiming myself.
Do you look back on losing your job any differently?
I'm so happy I did. It was genuinely the push in the weirdest direction that I needed. I got to be a mom, and it was most important in the most heightened parenting experience of all time.
These women's stories illustrate how our choices are shaping our homes and our culture. Researcher Betsy Stevenson says instead of setting women back, the pandemic could help propel parent work-life balance forward. Her report for Brookings and the Hamilton Project last fall shows only a third of mothers plan to continue to work as before, while just as many plan to reduce their hours or find a less demanding job. And 14% want to pursue a better career. Record high demand for workers has given people the power, and these women are feeling it.
People can stand up for themselves a little bit more and take those chances, saying like, no, I am attending to my family, like it has to happen.
I think this is definitely a turning point, for everyone, for society, not even just women.
Moms need recognition.
Recognition, and that's not like Mother's Day flowers, people are saying here, Jimmy. It's about finding community and having more conversations like this one that just sort of highlight day-to-day struggles that everybody's dealing with at the moment.
What Ashley said early in the piece, I think, is very, very correct. When she said, I think I've gotten past saying that this thing is almost over.
Right.
Because those predictions can really bring you down because we're not out of it.
Exactly.
And we don't see, I don't know where the finish line is.
The uncertainty continues, and so it's about trying to kind of cope with where we are now and what you can take control of.
Well,